live now?
We are online. We are live, and thank you for being punctual. Yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud that you're a young guy. These. Welcome to CWS as it. Welcome to CWS as it is.
All right, thank you for having me, sir. Happy International Women's Day.
I'm not hearing you too clearly.
Yes. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better. And try not to move around too much because it distracts the audience.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
Well, let's start by asking you this: who are you, Delon?
Well, you already know my name is Delon Muffett. I'm from Guyana. I'm a Guyanese. I was born and raised in Guyana. I spent the first 20 years of my life in Guyana before I came to America to pursue a bachelor's degree in public accounting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you first arrived in America,
Yes.
what surprised you about America? You must have been hearing a lot of Americans, seeing it on television. In my time, we didn't have television, so
Yeah.
we depended on what we saw in the movies and so on. But for you, you're of a different generation. You were born in 91, 92, I think?
Yeah, 1991 actually.
1991, awesome. So what surprised you about America when you first arrived?
Well, the first surprise I had was the weather. Actually, the sun was out, it was gloomy, but the breeze was different.
The weather.
That was my first surprise. But I was also surprised by the magnitude of the people that are here. Growing up in Guyana, small villages, they're not that populated. So
Mhm.
crowded train station or crowded city with something I have that they use.
What sort of activities, youth activities, I would say, or movement activities you participated in before you came to America?
Well, I attended cricket academy a lot, so I've always been in and around activities with youth. I I attended St. Stanislaus College, so during my time at St. I played sports. I did a lot of sporting activities, but nothing to do with volunteering or stuff like that.
Mhm. So you came to America,
Yes.
and but let me. Were you involved in politics in Guyana in any way?
No, actually, I was always someone that was willing to discuss it with anyone who was willing to give me an ear. I was never like an activist. I was never with any political party, but I was always someone who was willing to discuss politics.
So you started a movement, I understand.
Yes.
What is the name of this movement?
It's called Youth Moving Forward.
Youth Moving Forward. What inspired that particular name?
It was inspired because I'm a youth and I want to see Guyana move forward. So I just figured that it would be something that people would gravitate towards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you came up with this idea, what was the next move? Did you tell some other folks? What happened? Take
No,
us through
when I came up with the idea, I decided that I would make the initial step and create a message along with my photo so that when the message gets spread around, people could see who is the person behind the message. So I actually started it on my wall, and then within the next 24 hours, I saw a lot of people starting making their own messages and creating their own photos.
Dylan, for the generation that doesn't, or for those among us that are not active on Facebook and acquainted with Facebook,
Yeah.
a language and so on, when you say wall, you meant your Facebook wall.
Yes, my Facebook wall. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it started. It's currently the movement is just it's just on the internet. It's just a Facebook movement as it is right now.
At 23,
Yeah.
why? Sorry, you're 23, right?
Yes, I am
Yeah.
23.
Right. So, what did you hope to get out of? What did you hope to get out of starting something like Youth Moving Forward?
Well, you often hear people say that the youth are the future, and that's fine. But in the youth are the future, then I think that youth should be involved in discussing stuff that pertains to their future. Who is better to represent the youth than an actual youth or a movement of youth?
Okay. And tell us a little bit more about youth moving forward. I'm
Well,
trying to get an idea as to, well, as you mentioned, you started it because you want youth to participate and so on. But tell us a little bit more. Let's say I have no idea what you're talking about,
yes.
and you want to sort of like pull me into this idea. What is it really?
Well, the movement right now is just a forum that youth could come and discuss issues that are affecting them right now and steps towards a brighter future. It's not a movement that is here to tell people to forget their past. It's just for them to leave the past as it is right now so that we can focus on what is affecting us now so that we can move forward from this point onward.
And by them, who specifically are you referring to?
It's specifically targeting youth. So it's calling on the youth to be more vocal and be more active. But of course, the page is not necessarily disbarring anyone of any age or so to come and share their message. Everyone is free to share their message.
I was asked to ask you who is Malcolm Rodriguez and what does he mean to this movement?
Well, I met Father Malcolm when I was at St. Stanislaus College. He was teaching a few subjects there. And Father Malcolm was always someone who tried to encourage youth to be more active, even if it's just with his schoolwork or sports. When I started the page, I saw Father Malcolm. He came and he was encouraging us to continue the movement because he was very proud of it. And I was very happy about it because at that time, Father Malcolm had no idea who was behind the movement. He was just praising the movement because he thought that it was worth his praise. It was after that I reached out to him and tell him that I'm the person behind the movement.
So, as you start this movement, what kind of opposition did you get?
I have gotten opposition from persons who feel that I have a political agenda and I'm trying to brainwash the youth so that they know nothing of their history or they don't know or I don't want them to know anything of the past. So I've gotten opposition from a few people, but they seem to have a political agenda, and the movement in itself is not a political movement. It's not favoring any political party. It's just a call for the politicians to not burden us with history that may not relate to someone who was born in 1991. If I was born in 1991, and you tell me stories from the 1980s to the 1970s, I cannot relate to it.
You can't relate to that. So, personally, and this is very interesting, this is very, very interesting to me that here I am talking to a generation or a few generations after me. You're 23. You have no idea what we have, our generation's experienced, what we were acquainted with, or are acquainted with. How does
Yes,
that make? How does
my
that make
idea
you?
is just a limited story.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. How does that make you feel when you are bombarded with ideas and not ideas but experiences from the past? How does that make you feel?
Well, I get frustrated to know that people would want to use the past to create fear and anxiety among a generation that knows nothing of it. I don't think that history is a bad thing, but if you use the history in a good manner to motivate people and to inspire people, then it's fine. But when you use the past as a political tool, then it becomes a problem.
Well, let me go to the chat room for a second. Emily Dotson said, "Hello, Delon and Selwyn. Greetings on International Women's Day." Hello, Emily. Brenda Richards, what are the issues that are important to youth moving forward?
Well, the issues that are important to the movement is securing a brighter future for young people. Jobs, securing jobs. Right now, there a lot of youths they're feeling negative about the current situation in Guyana. A lot of youths are just hoping that they get an opportunity to leave, and that does not sit well with me. I would love for the youth to stay and develop Guyana as opposed to getting a tertiary education at UG and then leaving with that expertise or that talent.
Brenda, Brenda also asked, would you classify your movement as political or social?
Yeah, I would definitely classify it as a social movement because everyone, regardless of the political affiliation, are free to come and share their message on the movement as long as it is in keeping with the message of moving forward.
What now? You mentioned social, and you've also mentioned that you've had some oppositions and so on. Right now, we are the nation of Guyana is gearing up towards election.
Yeah.
So the critical crossroad of our history. What would you say to political leaders of all parties
Yeah.
about your concern about constantly reminding you or trying to of introducing and trying to remind you about issues that have happened during other administrations? What would you want to tell them?
Well, I would want to say to them that if in 2015 we are still discussing issues of in the 1980s or the 1970s, then we have not moved forward, we have not progressed. If we have issues that are pressing now, why would we want to look to our past as opposed to fixing the issues that we have now so that we could move forward? I think that moving forward is not an individual thing. It needs a collective effort. It needs everyone to come together to decide that they want to move forward together.
And why is this so important to you as a young person growing up? Why?
Well, I might have left Guyana for close to 3 years, but I'm still Guyanese, and I want to see Guyana move forward. I want to see everyone happy about the state of affairs in Guyana.
Delon, you are in a particular generation that is sometimes not necessarily accessible to us, not physically, but you speak a language that is sometimes a little bit foreign to us. What are your peers? What is your generation saying today? What are you trying to tell us as adults about your fears and concerns for our nation?
Well, my standpoint is that being being born in 1991, the issues that I have become accustomed to are the issues that I would like to see eradicated, are the issues that I would like to see fixed. I'm not shunning the older folks or I'm not paying homage to the fight that they fought back in their days. But we have to accept that the youths are part and parcel of this discussion, and our ideas and our thoughts need to be taken into consideration as well.
If you had a group of people, a mixture of politicians, all the leaders of the various parties, and your generation in a room, and you had a mess, you get a chance to address them, what would you want to say?
Well, I would want to hit home that point again that the youths are the future, and if the youths are going to be the future, then the youths need to be involved in all the decision making processes, and we need to have a say in what goes on, because politics don't just affect persons of one generation; it affects everyone.
Why are you so passionate about this?
Well, I'm passionate about it because I think that there's always been this narrative that that the youth in Guyana are not involved in politics or they're not interested. I think that the youth want to be involved, but they just need some direction. They just need someone to show them how to get involved and someone to actually tell them that if you do get involved, you could actually have results. Results don't necessarily come overnight. It's going to take a gradual process, and it's going to take a lot of input from a lot of people. But it could be done. We could be unified, and we could move forward together.
It is believed and proven that everyone, every young person for that matter, needs a role model,
Yes.
be it their parents or the extended community.
Yes.
While you were growing up in Guyana, who were some of your role models?
Well, one of my role model, and he still is, it's been Nigel Hughes. I attended Saints, so I always heard of Nigel Hughes being an old Saints guy, and I had the pleasure of meeting Nigel Hughes at the Saints Union, and he's been a very warm person. He's been someone who always motivates me and encourages me to do positive things in life.
And are there other role models? Other
Yes, actually, Father Malcolm Rodriguez is one of my role models too. The stories that I hear about Father Malcolm makes me very proud of him because I've been hearing that he has been a champion for democracy for a very long time, and I'm all for anyone who supports democracy.
today being International Women's Day,
Yes.
who are some who are some women that you look up to, that you admire and respect?
Well, my aunt, Emily Batson, she's my aunt. I've always admired my aunt. My grandmother has been a very strong lady, but she passed away God rest her soul. She was a very hard worker, and the passion that I show is part and parcel from my learning from her. She is putting in hard work to get results.
So, so tell me this. What is next for you?
Well, personally or from the movement.
That's a very good question. I love that. Sharp young man. Let me rephrase the question. What is next for you regarding the movement?
Well, the movement I wanted to move from an individual standpoint when individuals share their views to getting groups of people to come together to say this is their message and this is how they want to move forward together. I believe that that unity is a very important issue if we get people unified and the movement moves from just being an individual saying they want to move forward to groups of people saying they want to move forward. Then it moves from the internet and then it trickles down into society because if the movement just stays on the internet, then it's not going to see real results. If the movement moves from the internet and moves into the wider society, and then people decide that, okay, let's be unified, let's discuss these issues and move forward, then I think that real results could be had.
Mm-hmm. When you introduce this movement
Yes.
to your peers, to other young people like yourself, what was some of the positive reactions you got?
Well, people were very happy about it. They felt that it is time that youth actually stand up and say how they feel and not just follow, but they could actually take the lead and the initiative and say how they feel and decide on the stuff that they want to discuss and not just join in a discussion that does not necessarily relate to them.
Mm-hmm. So you're in college right now, right?
Yes, I am.
What are you studying?
I'm studying public accounting.
Mm-hmm. And what is on the horizon in the next 5 6 years? What do you hope to accomplish by then?
Well, I'll graduate in June with my bachelor's degree, so I plan to pursue a master's degree in finance, and I'll also work towards getting my CPA certification to get my license to practice.
Congratulations on all your goals. If you had a chance, or do you have any interest in politics, in participate? Well, not participate, you are, but do you have any interest in holding political office at any point?
No, for me, I have my own individual take on politics. I, however, would like to see some change and reform in the way politics is dealt with in Guyana before I decide to enter into the arena, because right now, as this politics in Guyana is not necessarily what I expect it to be. It's not a platform where everyone just respects that people from varying political background might have different views. It's not just this collective effort that people want to work together. I think that if we could come to a point that people from varying parties want to work together towards getting stuff done and getting results, well then I would definitely jump on board. I'm all for working together with people.
What do you miss about living in Guyana?
Well, living in Guyana is it's more relaxed. There's not this busy schedule. The atmosphere in general around the atmosphere in general around election time, sometimes it becomes a situation where the country is divided along racial lines. But in general, Chinese people are very loving people, and they live together quite happily.
You said you were born in 1991.
Yes.
And that excluded you unless you really ventured into history, into the
Yes.
history books and so on. But it excluded you from a lot of things that have happened in the past, that some of us would have experienced. And I mean, to a certain degree, there were
Yeah.
those who were born before me would have experienced would have had other experiences. But what frightens you as a young person about the politics that you're experiencing today in Guyana, or you have experienced? What frightens you most about that?
What frightens me is the fact that with every political discussion, there is always the issue that people are not necessarily ready to debate or to discuss the current issues, but instead they look back to the past to point fingers and blame others for the way the country is. I think that people should defend their own track records as opposed to looking to the 1970s or the 1980s, what the person did back then. I think that knowing a history is fine and is very important, but if you continue to look backwards, then every second you spend looking backwards, it stops you from moving forward, because you use the same zest and the same energy to focus on moving forward, the way everyone could be happy.
Last question
Yeah.
concerning race. What was your personal, well, how is your generation getting along with each other? I'm talking about all the various races in Guyana.
I've always felt that racism is not something genetic. We grow up and it's taught to us. Sometimes it's taught at home and the sad, and a lot of times it is taught in society. We grow up and we learn these stuff. But I think that this generation has made significant significant improvements in the way that we see each other and we respect and love each other. I mean, a lot of old folks try to share their experiences with us, and it instills fear and hatred for each other. And that's the sad part of looking to the past. That's what I'm trying to shy away from. I don't want people to use the past that does not hit home directly to us or our experience to know make us fearful of a different race or make me not like someone because he's not of my race. I want everyone to realize that moving forward takes a collective effort. Moving forward on an individual level will not see any result if everybody, regardless of race, religion, or social standing, if we all decide that Guyana, Guyana is most important, and we need to put aside our differences, our egos, and our personal ambitions to work towards getting Guyana where it needs to be. Then we won't have these issues, and we won't have to be fighting racial battles all the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, sharing your views, and congratulations on all your endeavor, academic and this social movement that you've just started. Yes, our future is in your hands.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and happy International Women's Day.
You're welcome. So take care.
All right, thank you so much, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.